Teacher, can I go into IELTS if I already prepared for PTE? That's what my student Karen asked me a few weeks ago, and on today's video I will answer that question for you. Let's go. For a lot of people, the answer might be yes, you can go from PTE into IELTS. For others, maybe the answer is no. Maybe for some people it makes more sense to try something else, and for others it makes a lot more sense to just continue going for PTE. You may be wondering, hey teacher, what about me? But don't worry, let's look together at my student Karen, because I feel that her story will really help you either clarify some doubts, maybe you have something in common with her. So I hope that you find this video useful. And if you do, don't forget to subscribe to the channel where we talk about IELTS, PTE, life in Australia, culture shock, language learning. If you like any of these topics, I welcome you to the channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Emilio. I am an English teacher. I help students with PTE preparation, with IELTS preparation, and also with NATI translations. So if you have to translate a document into Australia from English into Spanish or from Spanish into English, get in touch. All my details are in the video description, and then check out that link. Get in touch. I'll help you with your translation or with your test preparation. Now, without further ado, let's talk about Karen's situation. So, student Karen, by the way, Karen, thank you so much, because I asked you, hey Karen, can I make a video about you? And Karen said yes. So thank you, Karen. I'm sure that everyone watching will really benefit from this. Okay, so Karen is from Colombia, and basically Karen has been a few years in Australia. She has been around 3 years in total. So first she lived mainly in Sydney, right? So she was enjoying life in Sydney, and then she started with an English course, then she stopped, and then she was thinking of her future in Australia, and she said, I want to study a bit more, I want to do early childhood. And I said, look, this is not migration advice, but it sounds like a great opportunity for PR. This is not migration advice, okay? Okay? Always check with a migration agent or a lawyer. So she contacted me and said, Emilio, I want to do IELTS. And I said, okay, tell me a bit more about you. And she kept going with this information, and she told me, look, Emilio, actually, I already did PTE before. I did PTE, but I did not like it. It wasn't a pleasant experience. I prepared, I learned some templates, I got a bad score, I did the test a few times. And I said, okay, look, I'm not going to be poking you in that painful spot. And then she asked me, can I take IELTS? And I said, tell me a bit more. Why are you taking the test? What is your target score? She told me that she was aiming for an overall of 6.5. 6.5 in IELTS, or around 55 to 60 in PTE, yes? And I said, okay, Karen, tell me more. Is this because you want to do, or you want to apply for a postgraduate visa? Maybe you want to enter university, right? You want to enroll in a course? I don't know. Karen told me, Emilio, I want to study early childhood. Study early, let me put it here, early childhood. And when she told me this was the moment where, for me, as the teacher, everything clicked. She did mention that she didn't study that much English after her course. She also said that she had taken PTE and that it was a bad experience. She memorized some templates and she didn't feel comfortable. And she told me that she wanted to improve her English. She wanted to feel more comfortable when she's using English in her daily life. And then Karen also, from memory, works in cleaning, right? So she told me, I want to study early childhood. It is a PR pathway. And I said, fantastic. In that case, PR pathway. I said to her, Karen, look, you should consider taking the IELTS test because, well, one, obviously, PTE was not a good experience. But two, very, I think like one of the biggest things is that in early childhood in Australia, when I said to her, when you start working and when you start studying early childhood, there is a lot of reading. So we have here lots of reading in terms of theory, in terms of assignments. So I told her, look, you're going to be reading a lot. And also, when you start working in early childhood, and I know this because I have done placements in early childhood centers in Australia, you have to do a lot of observations. So we do what it's called observations, lots of observations, excuse my handwriting, and report writing. And I said to her, look, if you struggled with PTE and if you basically learned a template, that will not help you at all with report writing. So I feel that if you invest a bit of time into preparing for IELTS, then you should feel more comfortable when it comes to entering your course, when it comes to doing your assignments in your course, and obviously when it comes to working in early childhood. Because what is the point of memorizing a template if you cannot use the template in real life, and if you want to improve your English and you want to write well and you struggle doing that? So to me, it doesn't make any sense. So I said to her, look, Karen, what you learned in PTE, maybe not everything will be useful because obviously there are some things that don't fully transfer from one test to another, but don't worry. Let's go ahead, let's prepare for IELTS. And Karen joined my 4-week course, my 4-week IELTS prep course. In this course, we looked at, obviously, the structure of the test. We had practice tests. We also had lots of writing practice. She did all the homework. She asked questions, came to class, participated, and drumroll, brrr, and guess what? She took the IELTS test and she got an overall of 5.5. And actually, she was a bit sad. And I said to her, don't feel sad. This is an IELTS academic of 5.5, academic IELTS. That's important to mention that because, again, her goal was to study, remember? So she got a 5.5 in IELTS academic. Maybe you're watching this and you need 5.5 and you think that's an amazing score. Maybe you're watching this thinking, Emilio, I need 7. Obviously, this is maybe not as much as what I need. Maybe you think, oh, Emilio, I only need 6 or 6.5, and that's okay. What I said to Karen is, look, remember that we all have a different starting point. It's not like you're going to come, you didn't practice that much after a long time, and then in 2, 3, 4 weeks, you join the course, and then, boom, you're gonna get IELTS 9. That's not reality. That's what some people on the internet said, but that's not what I say because I like to be honest with you guys. And in her case, she had to do a few weeks of English, and I told her, look, no stress. Obviously, I know that in terms of the short term, in terms of money, right, financially, obviously it's better if you pass the test because that means that you are saving a bit of money and maybe a bit of time as well. But I told her, look, you had a bad experience with PTE. It was something that was really affecting her, right? And me as a teacher, I really care about my students' mental health. I don't like to just say, oh, do this test or do this or pay this, pay that, do the test 3 times. No, because I know that behind every attempt, there is stress, there is worry. And obviously, I know how it feels when we don't get the score we want. So I just told her, look, you did an amazing effort. There is a lot that you improved. Even if you don't see it, I can see it because I'm the teacher, right? And going from terrible PTE attempts into a 5.5 IELTS academic, doing the right things is incredible. And thanks God, thanks Buddha, thanks whatever you believe in, she is now doing her English academic course and she's on her way to early childhood. Does that mean that because she didn't get the score she needed, life is over and everything was wasted? Of course no, because even as she told me, and she can comment on this video, Karen, please comment on the video, okay? I'm not making this up. By doing all of these things the right way, now she knows what she needs to do, because I told her, look, now you have to focus on this and this and these things. You need to do the IELTS again, but don't worry, because now you know what to do. And then you're not going to have the heart attack in the test. So to me, it ends up in a very positive note because now the other thing is she feels motivated. She's happy. She wants to practice and study English. She told me when I did my other PTE course, one, I was not happy with it. so I didn't enjoy that experience. And two, I didn't feel my English improved. I like that when I studied with you, Emilio, now I feel that my English is improving. I feel the change. And look, the change takes a bit of time, but it comes. And I'm so happy that I'm sharing this with you because this is something real, you know? I'm not gonna come and make a video on YouTube and just say, oh yes, look at me, I am amazing, blah, 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 blah. If you study with me, you're gonna get 9. Because not everybody gets 9. Everyone's situation is different. If you're watching this and you're thinking, Emilio, this resonates with me, I want to study with you, I have fantastic news. We have different ways that I can help you. So for example, I normally do monthly courses, so maybe you can join one of my monthly courses. Sometimes the courses are 4 weeks, other times it's 3 or 2 weeks. We also have one-on-one classes. It depends on availability. And I also have a self-guided study IELTS course. This is a course where I teach you step by step everything that you need to go from maybe a 5.5, a 5, no matter where you are, I give you step by step and I guide you. I take you by hand and I show you what to do, what not to do, so that you can get an IELTS 7. A lot of you watching, maybe you're watching this and you think, Emilio, I need it for my postgraduate visa. In that case, that course will be amazing for you. Link in the description on my Patreon page, or maybe if you want to ask a question, no stress. Just check the link in the description, message me on WhatsApp or on Instagram. More than happy to help. And look, before we go, if you are still unsure as to should I do IELTS, should I do PTE, don't worry, in this video right here, we do a full analysis and we talk about the 2 exams. I hope you like it. Don't forget to subscribe, okay? Because you watch this video, if you don't subscribe, boom, you disappear and I don't see you again. I'll see you on this one right here.